Good afternoon. Good afternoon, PS42 friends and family. This is Mr. Sharkey here. I hope all is well. I appreciate your time. If you don't mind, I would like to share with you some important information and updates as we start to wrap up the year. And so thank you for your time. So today's intentions are very simple. I would like to once again share with you our current status with our student register. Our current registered data really helps us with our planning, and I think it's important that you're very much in the know of what's going on. Also, I'd like to reflect on the current and the testing that is taking place and scheduled weekly for COVID-19. I'd like to expand on that a little bit, and of course, with respect to teaching and learning and student academics, our report cards are scheduled. Please be advised that kindergarten applications and the actual middle school admission process is in the process of being updated and changed as we speak. Our chancellor and mayor are messaging information today, and I'd like to expand a little bit on that. And then, of course, touch base with what's been going on with school construction authority work around our school campus, and maybe be able to satisfy some of the questions you might have that are frequently being asked in our virtual general office. And of course, just wrap up with school communication. So thank you for your time. So as you know, as of today, every time we have this opportunity, I include a data slide. So it's important to understand who we are, how many students are in attending school, both remotely and blended. So our total population is 1,047. And out of that cohort of kids, 33% are full remote, and the remaining 67, which is the majority, 67% students are attending school in blended, okay? And so that's a pretty high number compared to neighboring schools and schools throughout New York City. So I agree with many parents, it's important for children. We of course always want to have more kids in school and more days, but I think it's very healthy for children to have the opportunity to come in. So if you're a family who chose blended, right now 67% are attending. Right now, just please be reminded that based on consent forms and in-person attendance, the data could change. It is important that if a parent is sending their children in, claiming that seat, it's important that they utilize that seat. And of course, as mentioned previously, the mayor was talking about earlier, when we came back to school from the last closure, really looking at and holding schools and districts accountable to reflect and relook at and revisit their current models and to see how we can increase learning, in-person learning for cohorts of students. And so as a result, any child that is scheduled and programmed in a 12 to 1-to-1 self-contained environment classroom. We have approximately 50 students that we're able to accommodate for 5 days a week in-person learning. And so we will continuously revisit our registers for all and look how we can incorporate and increase the days of in-person learning. So this is something both the superintendent and I have been talking about, as well as other principals, and always holding ourselves accountable to increase the opportunity for students to come in. One of the challenges we face at PS42, and this is the norm for many schools, is the average square footage, the average amount of people per room. Our classroom data is 9 to 12 people per environment on average. Some rooms a little larger and some rooms a little smaller. So it's very difficult to keep social distancing and also increase the number of days in-person learning. As more information comes and surfaces, we'll be sharing with you and will be forthcoming. But thank you for your cooperation thus far. As you know, the COVID-19 weekly testing, because of the South Shore status and the zoning of our status, the COVID-19 on the South Shore levels are very high. And as a result, we will continue to host and conduct weekly COVID-19 testing. We learned just the day before, when students are when the lab techs are coming. And so we, at large, they like to identify approximately 20% of the students who were in that day. And it is a random protocol. But please just, once again, thank you for your confidence and your trust. No child will ever be tested who is in a very bad place. We know kids, we're in the kid business. I think lab people do lab work well. We do kid work well. And so if a child is in a very bad place, there's always staff, including administration. We're always right there. I don't want to say holding their hand, but socially distancing, holding their hand. And we'll never let a child have a very bad experience. And if a child's not in that good mindset, we act accordingly. So thank you for your trust. Relationships are important. Please understand that. I, as a principal, have been here a number of years. I grew up in Eltonville. I am home when I'm here. And I understand there are many types of opinions and people have different mindsets around this, and I respect everyone's. I really do. And so what I just want to remind everyone is to please, once again, understand that the policies that come in from New York City Department of Ed, they might not be aligned with what you're thinking and what you believe in. And with that being said, I do respect that, and I do. So I'm your advocate, and I will always be there to support you. My staff and I, of course, will always continue that. But please understand that I always look at the end product, which is our relationship. And you leave me your child every day. And many kids are in some of our homes, brothers and sisters and whatnot. And I understand that I will be with many families for many years. So it's important that a relationship stay strong. And thus far, it has been. And thank you for that. And I just want to just say thank you. And I appreciate everyone's cooperation. So hopefully one day this will all pass. Some information regarding students, regarding their academics and monitoring their progress and their growth. Distribution is scheduled for the 22nd of next week. It will be sent out in a email to your PS42 Gmail account. So please look for that. And the first report card is in response to the first marking period. And that window is from September 16th to December 11th. The next card is scheduled to go out in March around the parent-teacher conferences. So March 2nd and March 4th. It's going to be a quick turnaround, so please put that in your calendar as well. But what's really important is that when a report card comes home or is emailed out to you, please do not allow that to be the only time you really pay very, very strong attention and close attention to your child's academics. I want you to continue partnering up. I understand life is busy. We have multiple things going on in our houses between work, career, managing to pay bills, managing to keep everything moving. And I know that the pandemic has brought on tremendous amount of hurdles and obstacles for families. And I totally get that. But carving out enough time each week, whatever works for you, just make sure you continue to be a partner with your child's teacher or teachers. If you have a strong partnership, the acceleration in learning will increase tremendously. So that homeschool connection, please always keep that in mind. Okay, you have a concern, our teachers are very responsive. I work for the best people. The teachers at our school and our faculty are tremendous people. So I get to come to work with those people. They're the ones that make our school great. So take advantage of them. Kindergarten applications are scheduled, as well as middle school admission process is being updated. So to begin with kindergarten, if your child is born starting on the 10th, the window is open. And if your child has a birth date, please follow the guidelines, okay? So a child who is born in the year 2016, we do get a lot of inquiries and a lot of questions about that. Read over the literature, just follow the slide deck. If you have any questions, reach out. But it's really important to understand that right now, there is a difference between pre-K and kindergarten. Okay, so for kindergarten registration, please follow the guidelines. The window deadline is Tuesday, January 19th. And a very common misconception And a common challenge for parents is they miss the deadline. So please, if you're a parent, you have an awareness of this, and you have a friend who falls in this category, you've been deputized, and inform them as well, please. The more people helping each other out, the better. As we speak, as I mentioned before, the Chancellor and the Mayor are on a news press conference. The Chancellor also held a meeting this morning with principals and starting to update and message the new policies and protocols for middle school applications and how to get into programs such as honors and scholars, etc. So please look for the literature. We'll be emailing a letter from the Chancellor dated today, December 18th, and it will be going out. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out. Please understand that PS42 works very closely with IS7, 75. Some of our students go to a series of other middle schools as well. Every single articulation that takes place from our 5th graders to 6th grade, we are personally involved in the articulation process, and we will support you along the way. So please read over the literature that'll be coming out in an email today as well. School Construction Authority, well, right now it's 26 degrees outside, but I have some pretty cool news to update you on. First, let's just start building off of what's been taking place in our annex building. Phase 1, which is the brickwork and the roof work and the water remediation, we're shifting from phase 1 and beginning to start phase 2, which is the water remediation and groundwater outside the front of the building, removing the earth from the building, including the front steps. And so our traffic patterns and our arrival dismissal protocols will be offset a little bit. We'll message, of course, appropriately of how it will impact our students' arrivals and dismissal, but we're excited that we're moving along. And when all this work takes place and our traffic patterns change a little bit, we'll be informing you accordingly. Okay, so please look for that. We're also excited that because of the weather, it's actually cold, but you know PS42, once it starts warming up, our classrooms are very, very warm. And we know, we heard from many of you throughout the years, and thank you for advocating on our behalf as well. So the Mayor's office will continue the work for the air conditioning initiative. All the electrical infrastructure has been in place. It's been signed off. Right now, we're in the process of hearing from our contractors. They reached out to us last week, making plans to come in and start the installation of window units. And that's excellent. We're very excited about that. So when the first air conditioning unit is in, that's when I think I'm gonna celebrate. But being optimistic, I'm sharing with you the correspondence we've been having with contractors. So we're on the map, folks. So once the weather warms up, we should be having air conditioning units in every single learning environment. The Mayor's initiative also includes the finalizing and the finishing up of the soccer court. As you can see in the schoolyard, the soccer court is just about completed. It just needs to be painted. And that court is in the last phase. So once the bridging and the scaffolding is removed from the annex building, they'll be able to get in the yard and finish that work up too. I'm excited to share all this information with you. As more information comes out, I'll share it out accordingly. A lot of questions come in our virtual general office. A lot of them focus on school pictures. I would not allow photographs to be falling off the map. What would happen, Mr. Sharkey, if we close again? What would happen if January 14th rolls around and my child's not in? So you know what, this is a year, if you can think it, it can happen. I totally get it. But just please have confidence in us that we will not allow the photography to be forgotten, and we will just keep riding the wave and figuring it out, and we will get those photographs in. So we're being nimble, and we're gonna make that work. Is there a word or any plans about end of year pre-K, K, or grade 5 graduations? So no, nothing formally just yet. However, we're being very optimistic. I had a great conversation along with other principals with our district superintendent, Vincenza Galacio. Our team is asking the same questions as well. They advocate for us when they work with our chancellor. And so we're being optimistic, and we're hoping that as the vaccines start rolling out, we'll be able to rethink our practices and protocols come spring. Unfortunately, at this hour, the volume of COVID on Staten Island, specifically South Shore schools, or South Shore areas and zip codes, we're actually increasing. So we're going to ride that wave, but please understand that we too are asking those questions, and we will look to every opportunity to celebrate your children because they earned it. And so more to come. And I just wanted you to know that we're asking those questions on your behalf. Will there be another opt-in window? Nothing formal just yet was mentioned, but I did hear the mayor say when vaccines start to roll out and schools start to adjust policy, I'm hoping that they will revisit the opt-in windows. And some of our families have been asking, will my child's program ever change or subject to change? And so we like things to stay status quo as much as possible, because the less impact on children, the better. I think these transitions in itself have been a lot for kids. So we try to stay as traditional as possible and minimize changes. However, when the opportunity surfaces where we can support and increase instructional practices and opportunities for students to learn, we will actually adjust accordingly in the best interest of improving the quality of instruction and education. So should that happen, we would always inform those families with the rationale as to why, and making sure that the less impact, the better for kids. And then the last question quite often asked is, will there be state testing? Well, last year there was not, due to the circumstances, and no formal word about a cancellation has taken place just yet. And that also includes the gifted and talented testing. PS42 is a district school that hosts the G&T program. And so nothing formally has happened just yet. So as soon as we hear information, we'll share it with you, of course. So virtual general office, I have to tell you, it's been utilized. Thank you. The culture is there. People know to utilize it every single day. We average about a dozen inquiries. Every inquiry helps us with the information. The frequently asked questions that I just presented really came from the virtual general office. So in closing, just want to once again wish you all happy holidays and a happy new year. I'll just, of course, next week be reflective of the new year and the holidays. But since we're on the call right now, I just once again want to say, I hope your family is doing well and you're looking forward to a nice opportunity to be with family and friends. Please remain safe and sound. And as we approach next week, we have a few days of school, and then we will have a break. So in the interim, I just want to give you a quick shout out and wish you well. Happy holidays and happy new year. Thank you for your time, folks, and I'll talk to you soon.